Morning guys, I am here at one of my favourite local haunts. I've had my morning coffee and it was lovely, but I'm here for a very serious reason this morning, and that of course is that I want to share with you the secret to finally escaping and thereby winning the weight loss war. In the work that I do, it is always my highest intention and my greatest wish to help my clients achieve a way of living that is actually sustainable for life. The last thing I want to be doing is helping them do another 8, 10, 12 week challenge that they can do whilst they're on the challenge, but then of course they go through the whole relapse, regain back to old habits once that's over. So my biggest thing is helping people create and maintain a lifestyle that they can live forever after, something that they really enjoy and something that they own and something that they really, they have ownership over. They know what to do when there are challenges and obstacles, and they can get themselves back on track when and if they hit hurdles. That's always my greatest aim. So what I want to share with you today is, I guess, why it is that people keep themselves in what I call the weight loss swing. So, losing weight, gaining it back, losing weight, gaining it back, and what we can do to exit that swing. There's a few things I want to share with you. So the number one thing to know, guys, is that there are stages of change, and knowing what stage of change you are in is actually one of the crucial components to assessing or predicting your success in any health or weight loss venture, challenge that you are going to undertake. Now, I have a free report on these stages of change that I am really happy to send to you guys. I will have a link available, so look for that link in this video and I will send that to you so you're able to work out your stage of change. But briefly, those stages of change are pre-contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, maintenance, terminance, and relapse. These are psychological stages of change that have been very well researched and applied in many, many different areas, from people wanting to quit smoking to people losing weight, to all sorts of behavioural change. So they're very well evidenced and documented. Just to give you a snapshot of which each of those stages are, pre-contemplation is when we are either in denial or completely unaware that our behaviour is a problem or that it might need changing. So that's pre-contemplation. Then there's contemplation, which is when we are actually aware that we have a problem or that our behaviour is a problem, and we're weighing up the pros and cons of making change. So we're sort of going, oh, well, yes, I know my smoking is a problem, but, it's a stress relief, or whatever the pros are of that. And then what happens during that stage is either we start to collect more cons for our current behaviour and we gather more pros, or we don't ever get out of that stage. We just stay in that stage forever until we die, and we maintain that behaviour. The next stage, though, for those who decide that there are many more pros, many more cons and a lot less pros to their problematic behaviour, the next stage is actually preparation, which is when we're planning to make change within the next month. So we might be making contact with personal trainers, we might be doing some research on the internet, we might be collecting some recipes, we might be reading some books, all sorts of things that we're doing in that preparation stage. The next stage is action. So once we feel like we've prepared enough and, we've gotten our head around the idea of making this change, and we know where to start and some details on how we're going to do it, then we go into action. And action is the stage, I guess, where most of our relapse can happen. We are making changes, we're using our willpower, all of our willpower at that time, to keep moving forward and make change. For some people who successfully make that action and keep those changes happening, they can go into what's called the maintenance stage. The maintenance stage is where we've sort of overcome that high risk of relapse, and we're in a stage where we We know for sure that our new way of life and our new behaviours are where we want to be and where we want to stay. So anytime we come up with a challenge or an obstacle or a hurdle, we implement those creative strategies and ways of getting around it. We're also able to preempt where we might fall off the wagon. So for example, we might be going on holiday, and if we're in that maintenance phase, then what we do is we have plans and strategies for how we deal with the unexpected or different aspects that come along in our life. And then for those who stay in the maintenance stage for anywhere between 6 months to 5 years though, guys, we then enter what we call termination. Once we've maintained a behaviour change for 5 years, we can sit there and say, yes, I have changed. I have changed my life for good. This is now my new way. That's actually 5 years of maintaining a new behaviour change. It's a long time. So not everyone gets to that stage, and that's where I see a lot of people falling off the wagon, and where they make the mistake is that they expect themselves to change within these 10 or 12 week body challenges or weight loss challenges, and it's just not humanly possible for anyone to make permanent change in that amount of time. We have to admit and realise that life isn't always predictable. Life doesn't always go according to plan, and we need to be honest with ourselves about how we're going to overcome challenges when we face them, and having strategies and being creative and pulling in help when we need it if we are getting held up in those areas. So not everyone will get to that stage of termination, and this is where I guess I would love my work to be, is in helping those people change for good and helping them get to that stage where they can say, this is my new way of life. I'm never ever going back. I'm never looking back. I love what I'm doing, and there's no need or reason or rhyme for me to ever want to relapse. Relapse is the 7th stage that I was talking about, and that can happen anywhere along the line. In fact, all of these stages, it's like grief and the stages of grief. We don't just consecutively move from one to the other. There's going to be swinging between the stages, and we're going to go into one and then back to the earlier one. That's really normal. So I just want you guys to know that the biggest element in determining and your biggest opportunity for escaping the weight loss war and actually winning the weight loss war is to get your head around the idea that you need to understand where you're at in terms of stages of change. And I can send you the report, as I said I will, so you can work that out. And there are certain strategies, depending on where you're at in those stages of change, to help you move to the next one. The more awareness we have, the more we're able to make conscious decisions that are going to help us get to where we want to be. So awareness and education are massively powerful tools. The only other thing I want to add about the weight loss swing is that I encourage my clients to go for a higher goal. If we always focus on weight loss, unfortunately what happens is we keep swinging on that same pendulum, from losing weight to regaining it, from losing weight to regaining it. What I teach my clients and what I encourage them to do is to go for a higher goal. As Albert Einstein said, problems cannot be solved at the level they were created. We do not want to stay focusing on the weight and focusing all of our energies on weight loss. We want to go for a higher goal. And the higher goal being, I want to have energy. I want to feel good every day. So we go for health. We go for staying young. A lot of my clients will find that they feel and look 5, 10 or 20 years younger once they start changing their lifestyle, and that in itself is reason for them to keep going and to keep their lifestyle up. So that the only other thing I can say to you is be aware of your stage of change and where you're at and what strategies to implement according to where you're at in terms of your stages of change. And number 2, have a higher goal. Do not have weight loss as your goal. I guarantee that as long as weight loss is your goal, you're going to be in that struggle. You're going to stay in the war, and there's going to be no exit for you. And you'll probably find that even though you may have successes and they might be fairly long, unfortunately, most people will slip back unless they've reached that 5-year mark and they've found a way of life that they can maintain forever. So I hope that's helped you today, and please look below this video for details of how to get your free report on the stages of change. and I look forward to sharing more secrets with you in the future. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.